this is how the NBA media really feel about Nikola Jokic, especially considering what he's doing right now.
When Jordan had a historic year when he had 37 points a game, you know, you're not close to winning the MVP. Same thing when Kobe came back and did it. Everyone on a bad team can put up real good numbers, but before, in the last like 30-some years, you didn't reward individual play. We see every year, there's always some player that is on a bad team that's putting up, what do they call them, empty stats.
Empty stats.
They don't want to call this empty stats when they're losing. It just makes no sense. When we've looked at teams that showed dominance, you guys won a championship, you're supposed to come back and dominate. You have the same four. Like, what is the problem?
Jokic ain't even playing for real, bro.
Nah, he's
not even playing for real.
He averaged 9 assists.
That nigga really don't be playing for real because he don't want to win MVP no more. That's crazy.
He don't want that attention no more.
Yeah, like, bro, I don't even want to play for real because I don't want to win an MVP. I don't want to do all that extra. I just want to go see my horses after the season. I want to win the championship and go be with my horses.
For a player who literally won Denver her only NBA championship, made 5 All-Star games, 5 All-NBA teams, and is on course to get his 4th MVP, you'd think it's all love with the media. But that's far from the truth, and the reason is a bit complicated.
Okay, Redick, are you ready for this? I'd take Anthony Davis over Luka. I'd take Anthony Davis over Jokic.
Sure, AD's defense is elite when he's healthy, but let's not pretend he's on the floor more than your favorite bench warmer. Meanwhile, Jokic is out here playing almost every game and serving up triple-doubles like it's happy hour. Stephen A was basically saying, yeah, I'd rather have the dude who might block your shot than the guy who controls the whole offense and scores. Well, maybe we should chalk that up to ignorance because Stephen A feels differently about the Joker now.
How about both? I mean, both works for me. He's the 3-time league MVP. He's playing like it. He's reminding us of the level of greatness he possesses, that he's the best player in the game and that nobody can stop him.
But then there's Kendrick Perkins, who feels it's the NBA system that's racist in their preference.
When it comes down to guys winning MVP since 1990, it's only 3 guys that won the MVP that wasn't top 10 in scoring. Do you know who those 3 guys were?
Who were they?
Steve Nash, Jokic, and Dirk Nowitzki. Nah.
Dirk Nowitzki.
What do those guys have in common? I'll let it sit there and marinate. You think about it.
Imagine thinking that Jokic, who led the league in every advanced stat known to man, won the MVP thanks to white privilege. Don't know if Perk's case is his bias or just his ignorance, but the disrespect is definitely louder than a Lakers fan on Twitter after one win. But guess what? He too has seen the light now.
He's clearly the best player in the league. He's clearly having the best season of his career.
It's like every time they doubt him or disrespect him, he comes back and shows them how wrong they are. But then, that's how it's been with the Joker from the very beginning. Back in 2014, the experts took one look at Jokic and decided that the best he could do for any team is keep the bench warm. One report legit called him a poor man's Boris Diaw. They also predicted that Jokic's defense was so suspect, he'd never play more than 30 minutes a season. Scouting reports like this state clearly that he has poor footwork defending the pick and roll, and he gets overpowered on the boards and the post. However, Jokic decided to make a joke of the scouts and NBA media predictions by putting in the work.
So we drafted him, he stayed over for 1 more year, and then he came over in the summer of 2015, and my dad actually has really good stories about being down in the weight room, you know, early in the morning that summer, and Nikola would be in there every morning with his 2 brothers. And they'd be beating on him kind of before the coaches would even come in, and he'd be in there. But over time, I think Nikola he cleaned up his diet. He understood what it took to be a professional.
Yeah, and right now, he has raised the bar so high you wouldn't believe it. Just listen to Brian Windy here.
I'm gonna make it real simple. For every 100 times the Nuggets have the ball, okay? When Jokic is on the court, they score 33 more points. I'm gonna say that again, forget about those numbers. For every 100 times they have the ball when he's on the court, they score 33 more points than when they don't have him for the 100 times on the court. That's like, Giannis, just so you know, Giannis is leading the league in scoring at 32 points a game.
Right.
And he has about 100 possessions in a game, give or take. It's like having an extra #1 scorer in the league come onto the court when Jokic comes on the court. When he goes off, it's like losing Jokic and that leading scorer. This is compelling, okay? I thought that the bar was too high for him to win a 4th MVP this year. He's clearing that bar.
But all that means nothing to the NBA media, who feel if it doesn't translate to team success, it's nothing. And that's why Chuck said this.
I will say this about Denver, though. I hope they make a trade. You cannot waste a Joker's career. He is the best player in the world.
They won a championship.
I know, but he's like, they could win again. They let two guys go off the bench that were very vital to them winning the championship. They bench is weaker than water.
And Chuck, I think you need to add Jamal need to step his game back.
Well, Jamal needs to step up, but you got to bring some guys off the bench. Yeah, they won a championship, but they just let guys go. If you got a guy that great, you got to win some more, because he got another 5 years. When he gets older, his game's going to still be fine, because he's not the most athletic brother in the world. And I'm telling you, you cannot waste this guy's prime. This guy's the best player in the world. Get greedy.
Every time the Nuggets come up short, the NBA media always points fingers at Jokic, like he wasn't putting the whole franchise on his back. Critics act like he was the problem because they believe Mike Malone designed the team to stat pad for Jokic rather than win.
Nikola Jokic, it's based entirely on advanced metrics and inflated on-off numbers that are perpetuated by Mike Malone's rotations.
Here's Perkins doubling down on the same cliche.
Okay, well, don't come giving me this stuff about a triple-double. I don't want to hear that. You know why? Because when I watch the games, okay, when I watch the, hold on. When I watch the games, I'm watching Jokic pass the ball, and I'm watching his guys catch and shoot, no hesitation, good or bad shot. And let me tell you one thing, conversations goes on in that locker room, and players know what their stats are, okay?
While it's a joke to blame the Joker for the Nuggets management's inability to build a better team around him, the truth is, his team's failures will affect his legendary status down the line.
At the end of the day, Nick, if he only wins one,
it's weird.
Nobody's going to, at the end, they're not going to be like, yeah, but he didn't have Kobe like Shaq. It's going to be, he only won one compared to Shaq's 4 or compared to Bird's 3. Right. And so he's got to win more to rise.
Or at least.
No matter how much he elevates his game in the postseason, the media is not going to change how they feel about him until the Nuggets win some more championships. But even beyond that, NBA fans and the media have another reason for disrespecting Jokic. They feel he's just too boring and unathletic. How do you even call a player who can cook curry like this boring? I get it though. He has no flashy dunks, no wild celebrations, no Instagram-worthy moments. He's just out there throwing no-look passes and dominating the game in a way we've never seen in years. But still, it's not loud, so the media yawns while others call him weird.
With the whole Jokic thing, and half these people don't even like Jokic. How can you? He's almost impossible to like.
He is weird.
He's kind of a weird dude.
He's very weird.
He's a weird dude.
Did that guy really just say the Joker is too weird for people to like? I'm just gonna leave this here.
I mean, if you don't like the Joker, there's something wrong with you as a person.
The fact is that Jokic's game isn't about flair. It's about fundamentals. It's okay if you want something like a Steph Curry shimmy or a LeBron chase down block or some Ja Morant dunk. That's okay. But Jokic is more than just triple doubles. He's got some of the craziest passes, and this too.
8 and 31 last season after taking over for Wes Unseld Jr.
Well, you just saw a Larry Bird shot. He gets pushed right away, so he's just going to get the ball up. So you see he's behind the backboard and just switched it. I mean, that's an H. Chris, you got an H right now. Katie's got an HO on that, and I got an HOR.
By the way, the fact that that was disallowed is one of the reasons the NBA views are down. But the fact is, Jokic's greatness is not so much in the wow as it is in the how. To the media, they feel if it's not entertaining, then they don't want it. They'd rather just talk about a player flexing after a dunk than Jokic threading a pass through a needle's eye. And let's not ignore the personality factor. He's not out here calling himself the GOAT. The numbers do that too well already.
Nikola Jokic is the second player in NBA history to have at least 100 points, 25 rebounds, and 15 assists in a 2-game span, and the first since Elgin Baylor did it in 1961. That is literally 63 years ago. But y'all, it is so much deeper than that. I know his team is on the struggle bus, but where do his numbers right now rank amongst MVP seasons? Jokic is averaging this, 32.3 points per game. More points than Michael Jordan, Kareem, and Kobe's MVP seasons. He is averaging this, 13.6 rebounds per game. More rebounds than Tim Duncan, Hakeem Olajuwon, my GOATs, and Charles Barkley's MVP seasons. You guys know I'm from Houston, so don't take that too personal. And then lastly, the Joker is averaging 10.2 assists per game. More assists than James Harden and LeBron's MVP season. This man is a stat machine. He is a stat factory that clearly he cannot be stopped.
Ironically though, the same people who say his game isn't exciting enough will be the first to tell you how much they love winning basketball. Newsflash, nobody does that better than Jokic. And speaking of winning, if Jokic wins another championship, the media will have to respect him.
Because in row one is the league's 28-year-old apex predator right now, Nikola Jokic.
Ooh.
Right now, Chris Broussard, I'm going to give you a list of names. LeBron, Kareem, Michael, Magic, Russell, Wilt, Duncan, Kobe, Bird. That's 9 names. If they win this title, those are the only 9 names in NBA history that you can say unequivocally were better than him. He then gets in the room with Shaquille O'Neal, with Hakeem Olajuwon, with Steph, with Jerry West, with Doc. He's in the room with them, and people can argue about it. He has passed, if they win this title, he has passed Moses. He has passed Oscar. He's already passed Giannis and Durant, if you ask me. He's passed Zeke and Mike. Like that.
And like so many analysts such as Stephen A. and Perkins, the NBA media will have to change how they feel about Jokic by the end of 2025, whether they like it or not. But do you think the NBA media is biased towards the Joker? Let us know in the comments. And you should watch our video on how Charles Barkley was totally right about the Nuggets.